Joe was a young, rich man who lived all by himself in a big, beautiful mansion. He never knew his parents and had always believed that they were dead. Nobody ever told him what truly happened to them, and he didn't care to ask. Since he had money, cars, and everything he wanted, Joe felt he needed no one. There was only one person living with Joe in the mansion, an old woman named Agnes. She was Joe's house help. Agnes did everything in the house. She woke up early to clean the mansion, washed Joe's clothes, cooked his meals, and kept everything in order. She worked hard every single day without complaining, but Joe never treated her with respect. He was rude, arrogant, and full of pride. He would shout at Agnes like she was a child. "Old woman, didn't I tell you to clean this place better? Are you blind?" Joe would yell from across the hallway. Agnes never talked back. Even when Joe insulted her, she kept quiet. She would only bow her head and continue her work. Joe never even said thank you for anything. Instead, he would boast, "You're lucky to be in my mansion. If not for me, you would be suffering on the street." Joe often reminded Agnes that she was poor. "You have no family, no money, no life outside this place. You are my slave now, and you will always be my slave. Whatever I want from you, I will take it. By force if I must. You stupid, useless old woman." Even when he spoke to her harshly, Agnes remained calm. She didn't fight back. No one understood why she stayed, not even the security man who sometimes watched from a distance. To Joe, life was all about power and control. He believed money could buy anything, even loyalty. He felt strong whenever he belittled Agnes. But deep down, Agnes was holding on to something. Something Joe didn't know. Something that would soon change everything. Every night, after finishing all the chores in the mansion, Agnes would quietly return to her small, lonely room at the back of the house. Once the door was closed and the lights were off, she would sit alone in the darkness, hugging her knees and crying softly. Her heart was full of pain. Pain she had hidden for many years. As she wiped her tears, she would whisper to herself, "I brought all this pain on myself. If only I had made a different decision years ago." Agnes had a terrible secret, a secret that burned her every day, but she had no one to tell. Joe, this proud, arrogant young man who insulted and humiliated her daily, was actually her biological son. Yes, Agnes was Joe's mother. Years ago, when Agnes was much younger, she had given birth to Joe under difficult circumstances. She was poor, afraid, and alone. She made a heartbreaking decision. Out of fear and shame, she left her newborn baby in a gutter, hoping someone better would find and care for him. She never forgot that day. And now, fate had brought them back together, mother and son, under one roof. But Joe didn't know. To him, she was just a poor old housemaid. How will he react if he ever finds out the truth? Agnes often asked herself, trembling. Will he ever forgive me? Or will he throw me out, or even kill me in anger? Agnes made up her mind. She would never tell him. She chose instead to suffer in silence, bearing every insult, every slap of his words, and every moment of disrespect. She believed it was her punishment for abandoning him long ago. What broke her heart the most wasn't just Joe's insults. It was the way he lived. Joe had a habit of bringing different women to his mansion every week. Beautiful young ladies, full of hopes and dreams, would come in smiling, only to leave days later broken and in tears. Joe would sleep with them, use them, then throw them out like garbage. Agnes saw everything. Sometimes she would be cleaning the hallway and hear the cries of the girls locked in his bedroom. Other times, she would open the front door in the morning and see one of them crying while walking away, broken and ashamed. Her heart would bleed. She wanted to shout at Joe. She wanted to grab him and say, "Stop this. You are hurting innocent women." But she couldn't. Joe had no patience for correction. If she dared speak, he would scream at her, insult her, and threaten to throw her out of the mansion. So Agnes said nothing. She watched in silence as her own son, her blood, walked the same path of pain and destruction that once ruined her own life. But she stayed, not as a maid, not as a servant, but as a mother, bearing the pain of her past and hoping for a miracle in the future. It was a bright afternoon. Joe had just finished spending time with another woman. As usual, he was tired of her and wanted her out. Standing in the middle of the living room, he shouted at the lady, his voice filled with anger. "Get out of my house," he yelled. "You've had your fun. Now leave." The young lady begged with tears in her eyes. "Joe, please, don't treat me like this." But Joe didn't listen. He pointed at the door, yelling even louder until she ran out of the house, crying in shame and pain. Agnes was standing in the corner, hidden by the shadows. She had seen everything. Her heart ached terribly. Another innocent soul had been broken right before her eyes, by her own son. She slowly walked up to Joe after the lady left. With a trembling voice she said softly, "Joe, please take it easy on women. You are hurting them deeply. They may not say it, but they are not happy. Please, stop this so your life can have peace. So you can find a good wife." Joe turned to her sharply, frowning. "Mind your business, old woman," he shouted. Then, something strange happened. Joe walked up to Agnes, grabbed her roughly by the arm, and whispered, "If you really want to help me, then come to my bed now." Agnes froze. What did you say, Joe?" she asked in disbelief. "I said I want you," he shouted. "You live under my roof, and if you refuse me, I'll fire you." Agnes began to cry. "Please, Joe, I am an old woman. Please, my child." Before she could finish, Joe screamed, "I don't care if you're old. All I want is you right now." At that moment, something in Agnes broke. She couldn't hold it any longer. She fell on her knees and cried out, "I am your mother, Joe. Please stop." Joe froze. The air in the room went completely still. He slowly stepped back, looking confused. What did you just say?" he asked in a shaky voice. "My what?" Agnes, still on her knees, sobbed and said, "I am your mother, Joe. I gave birth to you." Joe was speechless. Agnes went on, her voice breaking. "Many years ago, I got pregnant out of wedlock. My family rejected me. I had no help. I gave birth to you and left you in a gutter because I thought someone better could take care of you. But I never stopped thinking about you. When I saw you again, I recognized you. But I was too ashamed to tell you the truth. I'm sorry, Joe. Please forgive me." Tears filled Joe's eyes. His lips trembled. "You mean, all this time, you've been my mother?" he asked, breaking down in tears. He fell to his knees and held Agnes tightly in his arms. "Mother, I've been shouting at you, treating you like trash, my own mother. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry," he cried. Agnes cried with him, hugging him tightly. "It's okay, my son. I've already forgiven you. I'm just happy you know the truth now." Joe wiped his eyes and said, "I once made a vow that if I ever found my real mother, even her ghost, I would change my life and become a better person. And today God has answered me. From today, I will never hurt another soul. I will treat women with respect. I will live a new life. Thank you, Mother, for still loving me." From that day, everything changed. Joe became a new man. The arrogant, disrespectful Joe disappeared. He was now kind, humble, and full of love. He and Agnes lived together happily, not as maid and master, but as mother and son. They laughed together, shared meals, told stories, and built a beautiful relationship that touched everyone who knew them. Joe even started helping young women and supporting the poor. He had found his true self, through truth, forgiveness, and love. Moral lessons. 1. Never look down on anyone. The person you mistreat today might be the one who loves you the most. 2. The truth, no matter how long it hides, will always come out. 3. Forgiveness brings peace. Joe forgave, and his life became better. 4. A mother's love never dies, even in silence. 5. Change is always possible. No matter how bad you've been, you can still turn a new leaf. Thank you so much for watching this emotional story. I hope it touched your heart. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. More powerful, inspiring, and life-changing stories are coming your way. Please stay tuned and keep supporting us. God bless you.